small office. Our office is in Belton, but as you can see, I'm everywhere. Killeen, Hartford Heights, Coppers Cove, Lampasas, I go anywhere. I do lending all over Texas, and we specialize in VA loans. We have no lender fees on VA loans, so that cuts your closing costs on those VA loans, which is really, really nice, and we have great rates. We do go down to 600 right now on our credit scores, so we are still a very competitive lender in the area. Franco called me and asked me if I would put together a class on appraisals and property standards and minimum requirements and all that other fun stuff. It's a game we know in our office is, can it go? One of the favorite questions I get is, hey, my clients found this property and they really, really want it, but it needs some repairs. Can it go VA? What about FHA? Can it go conventional? I mean, it doesn't have a roof. That'll go conventional, right? No. So every loan type has minimum property requirements. And you know, when we talk about it, sorry, my little clicker's not working because I got a new computer and it doesn't understand. They don't know each other yet. So I'll have to do this. But the objective of this class is to understand the different types of appraisals and to understand the minimum requirements for these appraisals and to guide your clients successfully to selling their home or to buying a home. How many times have you gone out to a property and looked at it to list it and you've said, I'm going to charge 10% on this one because it ain't going nowhere. Especially when the seller, what's your favorite thing for a seller to say? I'm kidding, by the way, that's sarcasm. As is. When they say as is and you take a look at it, what does that tell you?
They don't want to spend a dime on it.
They don't want to spend a dime. And most people, when they're selling their house, what's the last thing they want to do?
Spend money.
Spend money. They want to make money, but they don't want to spend money. Through understanding what they need to do, you can really, really help your clients make more money. I can't tell you how many people call me and they're like, we're going to get pre-qualified, we're going to go buy a new house, we want to do some things to our house first. So we're going to put in really expensive hardwood floors. It's going to cost about 10 grand, but we think it'll give us another 25 on our value. Yeah, it doesn't, does it? So when they go to list their house, the first thing I do is go, oh, are you working with a realtor yet? And they say, yeah, good, talk to your realtor and ask them what you can do that will increase the value of your house. Because sometimes what they need to do is paint the outside because it's got peeling paint all over it. They can put money there and then their house can work for other loan types. You see what I'm saying there? It's really important to be able to guide your sellers and your buyers. So those are our objectives. 3 major types of appraisals. What's the first one in our area? VA, absolutely. Second in our area, anybody know?
FHA?
FHA, absolutely. And third one in our area, I was playing with this and obviously I did not play well, is conventional. Surprisingly, the order they're referenced in here is the order that they, the strictness. Not only that, you can convert a VA appraisal, most times, about 99% of the time, to an FHA appraisal. As long as the appraiser is FHA certified. So as long as they do FHA appraisals, you can convert from VA to FHA. You can also convert FHA to conventional.
So you're, say that again?
You can convert a VA to an FHA and an FHA to a conventional.
And what's the parameters on that? Let's say we have a VA appraisal come out and does an appraisal. However, the VA funding, or whatever reason they want to go FHA.
They can
What was the
convert to an
requirement?
FHA as long as the appraiser is FHA certified.
Same with the conventional?
There's no certification on conventional.
Okay.
What you cannot do is go up.
Okay.
You can go down, but you can't go up. You can go VA to conventional. I've done that before. But you cannot go conventional to VA, FHA to VA, or conventional to FHA.
VA has the most stringent requirements.
You know, VA and FHA are almost exactly alike. That's a common myth that I hear all the time, that VA appraisers are stricter. Not really. I mean, yes, there are some nitpicky little things sometimes, but for the most part, an FHA appraiser is going to call the same things as the VA appraiser. A lot of people are scared of a VA appraisal They think the VA appraisal is gonna stick with the house forever. It doesn't. The minute that contract is over, that appraisal is gone. You get a new contract, you get a new appraisal. So if you get a low value, you're not stuck with it. On FHA, you are stuck with it. So, there's nothing really to be afraid of. And that's something you guys can convey to your sellers, because I hear a lot of people say, I'm not gonna accept a VA offer on my house because I don't want that appraisal. It's not that scary. It's really, really not. So, okay, fine.
I've heard several times that VA appraisals stick with the home.
Say that out loud.
They used to.
I need that in the recording, say that out loud.
So I heard on several occasions that VA appraisals stick with the home for at least 6 months.
They do not any longer. That changed a number of years ago. I hear it too. People call me all the time and say, hey, we had a low value and your buyer's coming in with a VA offer. We can't accept it because we had a low value appraisal. For perpetuity, the VA appraisal does not stick with the house. New contract, new appraisal. The only time that you can reuse that VA appraisal is if you have another contract with exactly the same terms.
Okay.
Perpetuity.
Yeah.
So, the VA appraisal does not stick with the house.
Excellent. Also known as Tidewater, right, in this case?
Well, Tidewater is your warning.
Okay.
When we get the email that says we are invoking or initiating Tidewater, that's from the VA appraiser. You don't have Tidewater in FHA or conventional. You only have Tidewater in VA. Right now, we're seeing a lot of multiple offer situations where they just bid the price up until the seller accepts it, until everybody stops bidding, right? Yeah, the appraisers, when they initiate Tidewater, they say, please forward your best comps. And we get with the listing agent, we get with the buyer's agent, and in the past, I used to have buyer's agents tell me that's not my job, that's the selling agent's job. If you want your buyer to get this house, it is your job as well as the buyer's agent. We all know that that offer was for more than the list price. You've gotta find comps. Hopefully something is sold and closed in the meantime, and you can get those comps. Once the appraiser invokes Tidewater, we got 3 days to get those comps in. We get those comps in and the appraiser reviews them. It's all about the comps. Because as lenders, when we talk about appraisals, what we care about is that we can sell that house for what we're lending on it, for what we're advancing homes in the area that sold recently. And they're going to compare those. Those are called our comps, right? So they're looking at those things. Location is very serious. The appraisers do care about the location. A house in Beverly Hills is going to sell for significantly more than a house in Killeen, Texas, right? I see comparable houses even between Temple and Killeen. You can get a bigger house typically in Killeen than you can in Temple, right? It's all in the location. If you pick up a house in Coppers Cove and drop it in Austin, it's automatically going to be worth more, right?
Yep.
So location is important. When we're looking at location, when appraisers are looking at location, one of the basic things they're looking for is ingress and egress. I had an appraisal, it was probably 10 years ago, that the appraiser knocked value off of this home because there was only one ingress and egress into the neighborhood. He said that depreciated the home. So ingress, egress, you've got to be able to get to the property and you've got to be able to get away from the property. Those are minimum property requirements. So when we talk about that, that's one of the things we're talking about. So all appraisals, we're looking for safety, security, and soundness. So safety, what are some safety concerns in a house?
Pit bolts are working.
Doors aren't there. I've had appraisals, subject to doors, windows. Did you know it technically cannot be considered a bedroom unless it has an exterior exit? It can be a window, but it's got to be big enough to get out of in case of fire. Flooring is another big one. A number of years ago, I had a client come to me. He wanted to buy this house that he wanted to rehab. He needed a mortgage on it. It was like $150,000. But he said, now I gotta tell you, there's some problems with it. You can't get into the house because in the front door, the flooring is gone. I was like, well, I mean, you can replace the floor. No, the subfloor is gone. That's not safe. So minimum things, we're looking for safety. Security. Sometimes that's as simple as, is it clean? We have had, subject to appraisals, where the carpet had to be replaced because it was so disgustingly nasty, it wasn't sanitary. That's not secure or safe. And these two are kind of interchangeable in my mind. To me, the doors are more security, safety. I mean, it's kind of the same thing to me, but they do separate them. And soundness. We're talking about structural. If it's not structurally sound, if the foundation is cracked, or if it's pier and beam and it's, you can roll the marble and it goes faster than you do, that's not sound. If the roof's not sound, if I'm standing here and it's leaking on me, it's probably not gonna qualify on the soundness level. Oh, do you have a leak over there? Yes, you do. See, that's what they would be looking at. And the appraisers do look at that kind of thing. So let's talk minimum property requirements. If you ever just feel like you just want to look, I looked at it yesterday again. It's 52 or 82 pages. If you look it up, you can Google it. It is VA minimum property requirements, and you can feel free to read through that. It's about as clear as mud. A lot of this is left to appraiser discretion. I mean, there are some very specific boxes they have to tick, but a lot of it's left to appraiser discretion. Safety and security, those are, appraiser discretion. Now, on VA, the appraisers are not experts in every subject matter. When they ask for a subject expert, they will say, the roof needs to be inspected, the foundation needs to be inspected, the electricity, the wiring needs to be inspected. They will not do that. That's not their job, but they will ask for an inspection on it. It shouldn't include maintenance items. So when we talk about maintenance items, they're talking about like, this house is ugly and it needs to be repainted. There's dings in the walls. Anybody have children?
Mm-hmm.
I am surprised at how destructive children can actually be. My kids have no concept of doorknobs, the other side of the doorknob. And so behind almost every door is where one of my children has run down the hall, Mom! And you've got the ding behind the door where the doorknob hits. They're not looking for things like that. They're not looking for maintenance items. So light bulbs are out, things like that. What they are looking for is everything that should be working. If it's there, it needs to work. If you have a smoke detector that has, you only got the base on there, or it doesn't have batteries in it, best thing you can do is make sure that you fix it, or take it down and paint over it. But you've got to make sure that if it's there, it's working. Stoves, dishwashers, they're going to run every faucet, flush every toilet, turn on everything in the house. If it's there, it needs to be working. So that's a big deal for VA and FHA alike.
So does it need to have a stove in the property?
That's a good question. If you've got the drop-ins, the kind that it's the whole stove and the oven and it fits in the spot, no. If it's the countertop stove and you've got a hole in the countertop, yes.
Okay. Good to know.
If if there's a hole for the dishwasher, it is required to be there. Cabinets need to have their
Required to be
doors.
there and operational?
Yes, and operational. Yes. If it's there, it has to be operational. Even like the Vent-A-Hood, if it's there, it has to be operational. Make sense?
Absolutely.
So heating source. I know in Texas, we get cold for about a minute a year.